prince lives here. We got 10,000 lakes. But wait, the women are beautiful. To me they are. And we're not infested with pretentious movie stars. And it hit me, Minnesota is dope. If only simply for not what we have, but what we...
Welcome to 10 Minutes. I'm Tony Scott. Joining me today, Peter Rodney.
How you doing, Tony?
I couldn't be better.
Oh, man, that's good to hear.
Special thanks to MAP Hockey for their support of today's show. MAP Hockey, awesome facility, awesome trainers, awesome people over at the St. Thomas Ice Arena. I couldn't be happier with the performance of their athletes. They're having a great postseason already, and they'll be having even better success here in the next couple weeks.
Charting a course to success, MAP Hockey.
We will be following many of the MAP and many of the other players' success here in the next couple weeks. It's going to be fun.
Ramping up.
Can't wait. Let's start with the biggest squirt tournament outside of the Squirtacular.
Outside of the Squirtacular.
In Fargo, North Dakota. Should be fun. I'll be up there on Friday to see all the action. We got a good little segment here on Fargo. Probably as good as we've ever had. We're going to talk about the favorite team, your favorite team, my favorite team, and the top half of the bracket because it's such a big tournament, and then the bottom half of the bracket. Then we'll go with the best game, the best pool, and the team that we think that can maybe sneak their way into the championship or even into the later rounds based on the brackets. Cool.
Sleepers
You
no
wrote
more.
a preview of it.
I did.
I previewed who would be in it a couple weeks ago. We're all over this Fargo thing.
It's a big time field.
Jack Kupich will be up there on Saturday and Sunday to cover it. I'll be there Friday. So we're going wall to wall Fargo.
Wall to wall Fargo, the Paris of Eastern North Dakota.
Yes, it is. Number one, favorite team in the top half. I'm going Orono
Okay.
out of bracket A.
Understandable.
Where are you going?
I'm going to take St. Louis Park out of bracket
they play
B.
each other.
Wow, weird.
Same district. They play
Weird.
each other. Assuming they win their first two games, they'll meet in the Sweet 16 on Saturday morning.
That's too bad.
Very, very too bad. That's a championship game type of
Oh, yeah.
matchup in the Sweet 16. All right, favorite team in the bottom half. I'm going with my favorite, Hermantown. We
All
saw
right.
those guys. You were actually covering Cretan Wayzata High School that weekend in the afternoon of the Dangle Fest. Break between the Dangle Fest, a 1 hour break. Guess what I got? Eden Prairie Hermantown. I got to see all I needed to see out of Hermantown that day. They're my favorite to win, to be the best team out of that bottom bracket. How about you?
I like it. I'm going to take Stillwater.
Speaking of the Squirtacular.
Squirt A champions.
That's right.
Of the Squirtacular. Saw a lot of good stuff out of Stillwater during the Squirtacular, so I like Stillwater out of the bottom of the bracket.
Okay. What's the best game? We just talked about it earlier. I'm going Orono, St. Louis Park. Again, they have to win and have to meet each other 2 games. But if that happens, that's the best game of the tournament.
Again, another a matchup that has to happen only if these two teams make it out of their mini brackets. Osseo Maple Grove Crimson and Hermantown, I think, would be a really good game.
Yeah, actually, 2 years ago in the Squirtacular, Hermantown ended the Osseo Maple Grove run.
Right after I
Seemed
picked
like
Osseo Maple Grove.
decade-long run, something like that, at the Squirtacular. Okay, so I like that. I like that game as well.
Yeah.
Who's your sleeper?
My sleeper.
It's both District 2.
This is-
We've been all over District 2, by the way, haven't we?
Oh, yeah. District 2 like a blanket, considering it's the second closest one to my house.
Yes.
But my pick for
You
a sleeper
live in
team.
District 2, though.
No, live
Yes,
in
you do.
District 1.
Oh, God.
Shout out to the
All
TC
right.
District.
Okay, great.
My sleeper pick is Roseville. Let me explain. If they can make it out of their mini bracket, their next 2 games are very winnable for a team like Roseville that can skate well and pass well. So if they can make it out of their smaller bracket that includes Minnetonka and Bemidji, their next 2 games out of that bracket would be very winnable. Roseville is my sleeper.
Okay, just a quick question for clarification. Where did you play youth hockey as a kid?
7 years at Roseville, 2 years at Como Park.
Moving on. My sleeper, I didn't play in White Bear Lake ever.
Oh.
I don't even think we played a game against White Bear Lake as a youth.
We played White Bear every other day.
I'm going with White Bear Lake. They just
Like
win the District 2 championship up in Forest Lake. Big win, OT win over Matamita. So that's my sleeper. They might not even get out of pool, but out of their first 2 games, it's a tough little bracket.
Based on how these were drawn out, yeah, there's going to be a tough couple of matchups early on.
All right, and then what do you think the best pool is? There's a couple of really tough ones. Did you already bring? You just brought this one up.
I did.
Yeah. No, I'm picking that one. You picked
Mine.
J. I
Mine is
picked
Pool
E.
J.
Yeah, go ahead, Jay. What's
I got
yours?
Pool J with Matamidi, Hermantown, and Wyzetta.
Murder's Row.
Wyzetta, another team that could sneak in there. Matamidi and Hermantown, obviously solid teams. That's going to be a tough pool.
Mine is E. We talked about that one too. Tonka, Roseville, and Bemidji.
And Bemidji just beat Hermantown 9-2.
Say that one more time.
Bemidji just beat Hermantown 9-2.
That's what I thought. My ears are a little plugged up.
9-2.
Sure, that was crazy. And I just didn't believe that it actually happened. I went and verified the score and everything. It did happen.
So keep an eye on Bemidji.
All right, let's move on. Out of do you have a pick? Your top bracket, your bottom. Who do you think's going to win it?
Oh man,
I,
I'm gonna let you go ahead and pick yours first.
I'm going Hermantown.
You're going
Warner just
Hermantown?
hasn't been able to close this year.
That's fair. I think I'm gonna have to stick with St. Louis Park.
That's a good one.
I think they'll be okay.
That's a good one. I like that pick. All right, let's switch gears to Peewee AA. You were at the Osseo Maple Grove Stillwater game. That's a potential state championship preview. Tell us a little bit of what you saw.
Number 1 versus number 2. Ty Tucito had a hat trick. He kind of took over the game. I know, it's weird. I wonder how many goals he has this season.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Maybe I don't want to know.
Well, he played in 35 probably by now, and he's got a goal or two. He's north of 50 goals.
North of 50.
North of 50.
Be curious to see where he ends up. But
Tucito had 100 goals as a Peewee.
That doesn't surprise me either. Both pure shooters. Yeah. Tucito had a hat trick. Osseo Maple Grove, although they take the loss, they move like a cohesive unit.
Yes,
the passing is off the charts. I haven't seen a Peewee team run the cycle all that well up until I saw Osseo Maple Grove do it. So OMG can certainly make some noise down the stretch.
All right, switching gears back to Peewee B's, number 4 Moorhead. They win District 15. They'll be the number 1 seed in their regional. Peewee A, Alex wins District 15. They just swept through the field in Wadena. They beat Fergus Falls, who was a really good team, mind you, 7-0 in the final. So shout out to Alex and Moorhead for winning their respective divisions. Moving on to Bantams. What happened to Mankato? Where did Mankato's Bantam A team come from?
District 9.
Yeah, but
the champions of District 9.
Crazy.
I don't know if it's crazy.
Yeah, but they hadn't done very well, and you figure Albert Lee and Owatonna were kind of like the top teams all year down in southern Minnesota, and out of nowhere comes Mankato.
It's usually those teams that don't scare you during the regular season. They can sneak up on you because you're not thinking about them. So Mankato comes out with the D9 championship, and we'll see what happens considering that District 9 and District 4 are a bit intertwined.
Yes, they are. Okay, quickly, Bantam AA seeding. I've taken more texts, more emails, more inquiries about how it works. I mean, other than what you see in the handbook, I don't have any insight on that. If you want some insight, send my good friend Glenn Andreessen an email. He would be happy to answer any questions. Thrilled to find out. But what I do know is we're talking with Glenn. It will come out on Monday the 26th.
Okay.
And they'll be announcing those teams. Districts wrap up on Sunday, and then they'll be announcing either late Sunday night or early Monday morning where you're going for regions.
Keep an eye out.
All right, district. Let's talk some girls hockey, girls youth. 12B, I love this one. Moose Lake wins the District 11. They're the number 1 seed in the Olympic. They're hosting.
They get to play at home.
When's the last time we've used Moose Lake in our vernacular on this show?
When not talking about the low numbers at the boys' high school level?
That's it.
That's all it's been.
And so huge shout out to Moose Lake for rocking it in 12B.
Good luck, ladies.
12A, 2 top teams up north. Moorhead and Warroad punched their tickets as number 1 seeds. Those 2 teams are like razor thin close as who's the better of that 2. That'll be a good game in 2 Harbors if they end up meeting in the region.
Long drive for both teams.
Yes, it is. All right, boys high school, it's about to go down, right?
Oh, no.
It's about to go down.
Oh, no.
Section Saturday semis is only 2 days away.
I can already feel it crushing me.
I know. I love it. All right, so let's go through. We're going to name our locks for the A.
All right.
Locks for the double A. Who's your lock to go to state out of Class A? You can't read it or what?
No, I'm having second thoughts, but I'm going to go with Hermantown.
Okay, you got it. All right.
I'm going to go with Hermantown.
Good deal. Okay, my lock, based on the strength of schedule, strength of the section, I'm going to go with Matamida.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, double A, I'm going to go Edina.
Shock.
As my lock to go to state. How about you?
I'm going to take St. Thomas.
Yeah, these are
Academy.
easy. We're not surprised. This is not really uncharted territory, naming these 4 teams as state finalists. Where it gets more interesting is who's most vulnerable.
Who's most vulnerable?
Our criteria for vulnerable is you have to be rated in the top 10. So saying Laverne is vulnerable to Litchfield or Hutch is great, but Laverne's not top 10. So
And
I don't
they're in
think
section
vulnerable.
3A where the craziest happens.
Yes, weird things happen. Okay, so my vulnerable Class A, and this was by the skin of my teeth, number 10 in the state, Warroad, is vulnerable.
Of course.
Because Thief is good, East Grand is good, Crookston's good.
Right.
So I like that team as a vulnerable team in A. Who do you like in A as your vulnerable team?
I think that Orono is vulnerable. I still think that Delano has a little bit to prove, and I think that Mountain West Tonka, the number 2 seed in that section, they haven't had a winning season since Peewee's.
What about Breck in Minneapolis?
I don't put any stock in Breck or Minneapolis.
Wow. Really? I still think Minneapolis can run through this thing.
But if you think they can, then Orono still
Where did I
proves to
play
be
my
vulnerable.
Yuzaki?
I have no idea.
Minneapolis.
The country club.
Yeah, country club, right. Okay, so we have our locks in our vulnerable in A. Who's our vulnerable in double A? Who's yours? I can't
We're
believe
going
you
out
wrote
on a
this.
couple of limbs here.
Not mine.
My most vulnerable in Double A is Moorhead.
Not vulnerable.
Let me tell you why.
Not vulnerable.
Section rival Brainerd beat him 5-rip. Hill Murray, a team that everybody has loved throwing mud at all season, just shut him out 3-0.
Okay.
If
one
you
game.
can slow the Spuds down, you don't mind taking a couple of icing calls here and there just to disrupt the flow of the game. You don't let Radcliffe get warmed up. You can beat the Spuds.
My vulnerable is White Bear Lake. You
I like
talked
that one.
about-
I really like that one.
You just talked about Hill Murray and all the throwing mud at Hill Murray or whatever. I think that White Bear Lake is vulnerable. They've been ranked all year. They've beaten who they've had to beat, and they've lost. I think they're vulnerable.
I'm never comfortable betting against Bill Lechner.
I agree. All right, Hannibal Lechner, no chance. No chance. I wouldn't bet against him either. All right, switching gears to girls' high school. TZ has got the double A pick of Centennial. Who do you got?
I got a Dinah.
got
After
a
watching
Dinah?
them beat Blake, Hornets.
Hornets all the way. Okay, I got Breck in my Class A winner.
I like that pick.
Who do you
a lot.
got?
I got St. Paul United. I think St. Paul United beats Warroad in the semifinals for the 3rd straight year.
I also see we didn't pick Roseau in the double A. Why is that?
I think I talked you out of picking Brainerd.
Yeah, you did. You did. I wanted to take Brainerd. Brainerd beats Roseau in overtime.
But on the other hand, we did pick 15 of
the
16
other 15
section
and I
champions.
I was hanging my hopes on this sophomore class from Brainerd, and I thought they might win it, but you talked me into Roseau, so I took Roseau.
We're going to have to catch that Brainerd Edina game tomorrow. It's going to be a good game.
Really good game. Don't overlook them on Thursday.
Channel 45.
All right, switching gears to our favorites. We're going
Yes.
on the eve of the state high school hockey tournament. What is your all-time favorite state tournament moment?
Watching, it's very recent, but watching Mammal take Hermantown to overtime last year, that was so
Crazy.
cool. The Class A tournament that, speaking of throwing mud, has had mud thrown at it for a long time, is not competitive.
It was as good
Watching
as it gets.
Mammal take him to overtime, that was really cool.
Okay. Mine, what year were you born? 1989?
91.
91? This is 14 years before you were born. Okay, 1977, Rochester John Marshall beats Edina East, I believe,
Okay.
to win the state title. Scott Lacey does the most unbelievable celebration, literally tiptoed across the ice.
There's
on his
no
skates.
video evidence.
We don't
of
have
this
any
happening.
video. We looked for it on YouTube, couldn't find it. One of the greatest moments ever. The St. Paul Civic Center erupts
Cool.
as Rochester wins. The only Southern Minnesota team to win the state tournament.
I like it.
It was great. It was great. All right, what was the tweet of the week this week? There's a lot of good ones.
Tweet of the week goes to Dave LeVake.
Yeah, Star Tribune.
He and I sat across the ice from each other at the Edina Blake section final. And Dave's tweet, it was Edina versus Blake. Winner goes to state. Loser still drives home in a car more expensive than mine.
Nice little dig at the white collarness of Edina and Blake.
I saw a lot of visors, and I saw a lot of puffy North Face coats.
A lot of puffy North Face.
No reason for a visor.
All righty. What's the shockers this week?
Squirt A, White Bear Lake. Upset Stillwater.
I show up at the end, and it was crazy. White Bear beat Stillwater. It's fun to see.
Those boys in black and orange, they
Brad
can hang
Timmons
with anybody.
Got the White Bear squad playing really, really well. They win the District 2 championship. They beat Matamidi, who's another really good team.
Really good squad.
What's the girl one?
This one just happened a couple of hours ago. Proctor Hermantown.
Are you giving away the time when we actually record the show?
The lighting outside gives it away.
Oh, okay. All right.
Proctor Hermantown defeats Red Wing, the number 6 seed over the number 3 seed at the girls' Class A state tournament. It's more of a shock that they held Taylor Heisey to 0 points.
0.
But if you would have read the Class A preview on YHH, you would have realized that Proctor Hermantown may have had the antidote with their staunch defense.
Because of this, all of the potential games on Saturday and Sunday, we don't know who's playing who. We're going no pick'ems this week. I still reign ahead of you, 27, 22, and 2 to 19, 30, and 2. So I'm rocking your world. All right.
The Warriors were bad at one time,
We're going to move on to Game Pucks and Boom Roasted. You want to go first? Ours are both USA themed.
They are. I'll drop a Boom Roasted on Team USA going 0 for 5 in the shootout last night. And for the last shot, was there a deke? No. Was there any deception? No. It was 2 steps into the slot and a very basic wrist shot.
Almost like he was throwing it, right?
He missed the net.
Right.
I don't know how you do that.
All right. Mine is to Coach Tony Granato. For not playing Will Borgen in the Olympics. Why would you drag a kid out of his college, number 1 rated team in the country, put him on your roster and not play him?
He's missing school for this, Tony.
Yeah, I know.
Hello, student athlete.
He got to walk in the parade.
Well, I hope he had some fun over there.
I'm sure he did. He got to pick up a couple new countries in his travels. So.
Nice.
All right, Game Pucks. We get the Phantom Game Puck because it's sitting over there, and I'm not getting up this time to get it. So it's Phantom Game Puck. My Game Puck, I got an interesting one. This one goes out to Lindsay Whalen.
Whoop, whoop.
Now, Lindsay Whalen has nothing to do with hockey.
She's a big hockey fan.
But she had a great tweet, telling how nervous she was about the U.S. Olympics team's efforts tonight against the Canadians. She's more nervous for this game than in games that she's played in, which says something. She's played in the WNBA Finals, the NCAA tournaments, Final Four. But what's cool about Lindsay is she went on her recruiting visit to the University of Iowa. She got there and it was on a Sunday and the Vikes were playing and she's like, wait, you don't get the Vikings down here? Or they get the Bears or whatever? He goes, or Kansas City? She's like, oh, I'm definitely not coming to Iowa if I can't watch my Vikes. So she's a total sports fan.
She loves hockey.
I love Lindsay Whalen. So my Game Puck goes out to Lindsay and her hockey fanness. Thank you, Lindsay.
Huge hockey fan. My Game Puck goes to the section heads. I went to several girls section finals, had no issues getting in. Everybody was really accommodating and really seemed really enthusiastic that someone was there to cover the game. A lot of fun.
A lot of fun. I saw a lot of great games this past week. The Eden Prairie game, I'd give another one if I had one out to Alexa Dobchuk. She's fun young lady to watch play the game. She's smiling the whole time. She's a credit to Minnesota hockey, how many great players, women's players we have. She's just one of the long, long list of many great players that have been developed here in the state of Minnesota.
Colgate got a good one.
Yes, they did. So for Peter Odney, I'd like to say thanks to you for your help on the show today. Thanks to MAP Hockey for their sponsorship for our show. And thanks to all the people who tune in and watch each week. We'll see you guys around the rink.
And if you ain't gonna leave, cause this is where you're from, say